$75 to $125. Whereas if we wait 2, 3, 4 years down the road and they're going out of state for care, it's $2,600 to $3,200 a cost out of pocket per month.
Just to treat it.
Just to treat it.
Oh, that's crazy. Now, this disease can mimic all kinds of other diseases as well. And Lyme disease can really cause and create havoc on somebody's body and mind and all that good stuff. So, not a lot of people know a lot about Lyme disease, but it is very, very tragic.
300,000 cases per year estimated. That was 2.5 years ago by the CDC. They figure the numbers right now nationwide per year now. This isn't totally, this is per year, is around 400,000. And Iowa ranks, depending upon what year, 13th to 17th nationwide in infection.
Wow, that's crazy. Crazy. So this bill is important. Why? Tell me why.
Well, in the past, there's two different ways to look at Lyme disease for treatment. There's two different protocols out there. One has not been updated since 2006. And if you still have symptoms after 30 days, they're like, oh, it's an inflammatory response, you're not sick. Now, when's the last time you took 14 days of antibiotics for bronchitis or sinus infection, still had the infection, and they sent you home because you don't have it anymore?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then there's the other version. The other version has over 700 studies that show that Lyme disease is a persistent infection, and it's an international group of doctors that specialize in Lyme and insect-borne illnesses, and they update their emerging protocols about every year, so they're on top of what is, they got current science and everything. And the second one, the international protocols, just were not being practiced in Iowa. Okay.
So this bill is important to get those practices here in our state so we can treat appropriately.
Correct. We've tried legislation in the past, and thank you to everybody that's laid that groundwork for us. But it was always the wrong legislation. This time, 3 of us went down. We sat down with the Board of Medicine and said, here's the issue. The standard that you guys keep quoting here was removed from the United States Department of Health and Human Services publishing website 18 months ago. The one that we're trying to get in Iowa is still there. So it's still recognized. And they agreed. We needed to educate the doctors. So they literally, we struck the first language, and they presented to us the language that's gone unanimously through the House and the Senate.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And so that's going to help a tremendous number of people here in Iowa for sure. All right, so we're talking, this new bill is going to help with the protocols when it comes to diagnosing Lyme disease and then treating it afterwards as well. So we're talking, if you are a victim of Lyme disease, this is going to help you a lot for sure. Now, we talked about the problem as well. The problem beforehand is just wasn't there. There was no real protocol for treating or diagnosing Lyme disease, and diagnosing Lyme disease is not a blood test.
You're right. We talked about this.
Yes.
The blood tests are very inaccurate. In fact, if you test for it, as studies have shown, within the first 4 to 6 weeks, it's probably going to come back false negative, even though you may have had a rash. And remember, the rashes are rare. Every tick in the United States species of tick have been found to carry it. Mosquitoes can transmit it also, and other insects. But the tests are inaccurate. So if your doctor says, well, let's test you. Well, if your body hasn't had time to make the antigens that they're looking for,
right,
it's negative.
Right. So there's no real way to test it through the blood. So it's basically is diagnosed through symptoms. It's symptomatic.
Correct. Fever, achy joints. That's the early on stuff. Later on, it goes to the nervous system, the heart, can affect your hormones. That's why the cost of care goes up so high, because you have pain management, you may have hormone replacement, physical therapy, home nurse, ongoing deductibles, co-pays. And then the proper, like, antiparasitic drugs, antimalarial drugs combined with antibiotic protocols. So.
Well, not only is this going to help victims, it's going to help the taxpayers of Iowa as well, and those that are paying for health insurance, because that will help with that cost. It'll help continue to maybe keep costs down a little bit.
That was the major thing that we pointed out, was Iowans are spending this money already. They're spending it out of state. And the pattern usually is they lose their productivity at work. Then they start to spend their savings on trying to find out what's wrong. They then lose their job. They dip in their IRA, their 401k. They file bankruptcy, lose their home, go on disability on the state and state Medicaid. So it's draining money out just on the cost factors that way. But let's also talk about Their incomes are no longer being interjected into Iowa's economy. Your property taxes aren't being paid. They don't have any disposable income to spend out on the economy to drive the economy. Let's look at it economically. And that was really, when we went down there, was what we talked about, the economic impact on Iowa.
Well, there you have it. Well, this bill gets signed maybe next week, we think. We don't know yet.
We don't know yet, but it might be tomorrow.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. And who are we thanking for this? You, of course, Mr. Kent Larsen. Who else was a part of this? You said there's 3 of you, and you went down there.
We had a team of what I like to call civilians. And then we had some legislators. We had some people that went before us also as civilians. Steve Koff, CPA down in the Des Moines area. His daughter, 26-year-old, has Lyme, lives at home with him now. He used to work up at the State House, and he wrote legislation. Absolutely incredible man. Without him, I don't think we would have got it done. And then there is Brooke Bowden, who is she's a disabled former real estate agent. Her and her daughter both are at the Hill helping me lobby. Steve also went with me to the Board of Medicine and helped lobby. But those two and her daughter, Emily, were phenomenal. And you got to understand, Brooke and her daughter are in excruciating pain right now.
Okay.
But then we've got our representatives and state senators. And Sandy Salmon from Waverly, absolutely, I love that woman. Okay. She put it into the House, managed the bill on the floor. She basically did it all over in the House. And the bill originally that we submitted went through the Senate. Sandy then grabbed it and submitted it to the House side, so she beat us by 24 hours when she saw our language. And so we had an identical bill go through the Senate side, and Senator Zahn submitted that. He's from the Des Moines area. And then Senator Lofgren from the Muscatine area, his daughter, who's also 26 years old, has Lyme disease right now. And the passion that man showed on the rotunda, grabbing representatives, senators, I honestly don't believe we would have got it unanimously through both houses because of him. And then finally, the floor manager for the bill was Senator Garrett. Phenomenal job. I'm telling you right now, I think we probably saved thousands of lives, man.
I bet you we have saved thousands of lives. You have saved thousands of lives. I'm proud of you. It's an amazing thing. You suffer from Lyme disease, so it's a personal mission for you to do this. Plus, you have met and talked to a tremendous amount of people throughout the state who also suffer from Lyme disease, even those that recently have passed away due to the disease. So
the 2 we have right here.
Yep. So congratulations. Thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. If someone wants to find out more about this, I assume we'll get a hold of their senator or stuff, and we'll have some more information for the physicians throughout the state. They're going to have that stuff.
We have an educational program that we're working with directly with the Board of Medicine to get the education out to the doctors in Iowa.
There you have it. So soon enough, if you think you may have it or want to get tested for it, you may want to talk to your doctor because stuff is coming thanks to Kent Larsen and all his buddies and friends in Des Moines making this happen. Thanks again, buddy, and we will talk to you very, very soon.
Cool.
Go Kent Larsen. Jeez.
Love you. God bless you. You have the best day.